Okay, I'm GeoDav, and what we're going to do in this video is actually start getting vehicles into UDK and getting them working. Now, I don't know if anybody's ever bothered watching my UT3 videos on vehicles, but it's pretty much the very same system. Okay, there's very few things that we have to worry about that are different on UDK. So if you want to sort of like try and jump ahead, because I will be covering other vehicles later with different aspects, okay, but for the moment what we're going to do here is an actual wheeled vehicle. Now what I've done, I've made up my package already. Let's see if I can get a little bit more space here so you can see it a bit better. Now what I've done, I've put it into my UDK game content DavCorp content vehicles, and here we go, VHBC car. Now as you can see, I've got in here my other vehicles that I've already done in other tutorials, being in some cases well over a year old now. So I'm going to do another set with, let's say, slightly up-to-date versions, and obviously in that time I've learned to do a few more bits and pieces. So you can either watch the old ones, my UT3 ones, which sort of cover these vehicles, and if not, you can hang on and we'll cover these ones as we go on. We're starting off with, as it says here, VHBC car, which is vehicle, blender content, car. Alright, so it's going to be a four-wheeled vehicle. Now, if you haven't seen this mesh, let me just quickly open it up so you can see it. I actually modelled this in my Blender rigging tutorial. Well, not modelled it, I rigged it. And this is what we're going to use. Okay, if you have watched those videos, you'll notice that this is a slightly higher. Let me put it on a mesh res on wireframe. A higher res version of the vehicle. It's purely and simple so that later we can start doing things like let's see, levels of detail, damage, morphs, things like that. With a simple vehicle that I've done in the tutorial, it would have been a little bit more difficult and it would have looked even worse than what it is at the moment. But at the moment, having a vehicle, let me put back into solid. No, solid. No, completely gone. There we go. Solid mode. Okay, now this vehicle, because I'm going to have it that you're going to be able to see the driver, I've left it at, well, I wasn't actually planning for 5,800 polys, but that's what we've actually came out with. So quite happy with that. And one chunks here, sections, that's purely stating that there's one material channel. So that's that out of the way. Right, what we're doing, quick run through, very quick. I made up my materials. If you watch the material tutorial or vehicle material tutorials, I mentioned all about this. I am not going to sit here and spend the next 2 hours showing you exactly what to do with them. These are pure copies from the Scorpion materials, and all I've done, if I show you the textures, is I made a blue texture, a red texture, a normal texture, and a specular. Okay, so that's okay. That's all that. So what else did I do there? Yeah, in the materials, I also copied from the Scorpion the physical material for car. Well, Scorpion obviously renamed that to car, and physical material driving. Have a look at the Scorpion ones. That's all I'm gonna say on that. Open them up, play with the values if you want. or compare them to other vehicles, which is a good idea. Alright, so what we're going to do in this video, what we're actually doing is looking at what you need to do to the mesh once you get it in your package. So again, we're going to open it up. What we're doing here, well, obviously the first thing we've got to do is give it a material. Let me just, I'm trying to, because I'm on my laptop, I've not got that much space to play with. There we go, that might look a bit better. So, alright, now as you can see here, material, we've got one slot, which is slot 0. Very quickly, doesn't matter which one you go for, you can go for red or blue, but we'll go for the blue one in this case. Back over here, click on the green arrow. Well, for those that haven't never done this before, I should really explain it. In the content browser, click and highlight the material that you want. Go back into the AnimSet browser, AnimSet editor I should say, and then under the materials click on the green arrow which says use selected object in content browser. So now we've got a nice looking vehicle. See, Blender content. Okay, everybody happy with that? Now, what I haven't made my own ones of is the emissive map and the damage map. We'll just use the ones from the Scorpion for the time being. I think that looks actually quite groovy. Apart from when you go around here and you see it's got emissive bits on the tyres. So I might have to go back and do that. Right, what else are we looking for? Well, you think you're done? Well, no you're not. You're actually far from it. So what we've got to do here, I'm just playing around here to give us a little bit more space, because it's going, I won't say complicated, but we'll look at level of detail info later in a separate video, but because at this moment in time it's not 100% necessary to get your content in and try it. Okay, because that's what we're going to do first. Do as much as little as we have to get your vehicle in to make sure everything's okay. So what we do have to do is per poly collisions bones and add to parent per poly collision bone. Now here basically what we want is we click on the plus sign and get add. Now in the skeleton tree, click on BC car main or your root bone. Let's see, copy bone name to clipboard and paste it in there. Now the next one we're going to do, we'll look at what we've got here on the skeleton. Now we've got the 4 wheels. We've got the yaw, pitch and spin for the weapon. I think we might be able to get away with that, not having them. We've got the suspension bones. No, I don't think we'll need to deal with them. And then we've got the damage bones. Okay, they're front, right, left and rear. Now as you can imagine here it says per poly collisions. Now you need to put these bone names in which you have skinned the areas to, so that Unreal can actually pick up that collision. Now I won't say 100%, but my belief is when you hit an area and let's say you hit the front bit which is skinned to the damage front, I'll just show you what area is that, so you can go whee like that. Anytime you shoot that area, it will come up and say, yeah, we've got a collision here. This is the area we want to start using for the collision map and things like that. I could be completely wrong. It's been known before, but it's something that we've seen on the other vehicles, so we're going to do it on our vehicles as well. So we're going to need 4 there and 4 there. So add to parent collision bone. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It says 8 and goes 0 to 7. One of those weird and wonderful things. Alright, and all we'll do here is copy and paste, copy and paste. Now I could have, he said, done this earlier and just shown you, but then you wouldn't have noticed how easy it is now. If you watch my UT3 videos, you'll see that I don't do it this way, for the simple reason back then we couldn't. We didn't have this option to copy and paste the names to the clipboard and then from the clipboard into this bit. It's where I had a separate file with all my bone names. Epic's made it a lot easier for us now. Okay, so what else have we got to do with this? At this moment in time, let me see. We've got the poly collisions. I don't want to do the I'll do the LODs in another video. We've got no cloths, materials, bounds, no, not really bothered with that. Bounds preview asset, well, nah, not really. Preview morph sets, no, not yet. And the rest of this doesn't really affect the vehicle. Now, if you're uncertain, I'll just open it up so you can have a look. I know I digress a fair bit, but let's see. We're going to have a quick scan at the Scorpion, just as comparison. Right, there we go, Scorpion. Now, if I push this over here, don't want the content browser now. Right, we'll just push this over here. You'll see all the bones and everything there. One material, clothing asset, no, I think that gets made up. This one's actually got 2 LODs, level of detail. See how many we want. Per poly collisions. Now if you see there, it's got the main route and the gun rotate. Now if we go in here, quickly add you can just about make out the route is main route and gun rotate up there. Okay, so they've actually added that on as sort of like a separate piece, but I think we can get away with not having that at the moment. So what else we got here? Use simple. Oh, didn't we tick that? God, isn't that down? Oh yeah, it's okay. It's in as default. Just double checking. Bounds asset, what they use there is the physics asset as a preview for the bounds. That's fine, and that's pretty much it. So I think we're hunky and dory on that one. So we can just leave this video as it is. Like I say, just a quick basic setup for the mesh, making sure that you've got your material applied, your per poly for your collisions, all the bones in there, and we'll have a look at the LODs on a later video. Okay, so we'll just leave that as it is, and I'll see you soon for the physics asset. Okay.